behalf of the committee MSME and Startup, I welcome today our speaker Paritosh Anand sir and our coordinator C. Ayushi Agarwal ma'am.
Hello, sir.
So I request our coordinator C. Ayushi Agarwal ma'am, please give a welcome address to our speaker and give him introduction.
Hello, good afternoon. Today we have Paritosh Anand is an alumnus of Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, CFMP certified from Chartered USA, Lean Six Sigma Master Black Belt from CSSC Washington, and has worked extensively in the startup ecosystem in India as a mentor at Startup India, WEP, and ICI. He has over 11 years of work experience in various industries from agribusiness to education. He has been honored as the change maker of India by the Ministry of Education, Government of India. He worked with World Peace Tract Sweden and represented India at World Literacy Foundation Australia. He currently serves as the CEO at Vatsalya Wellness and Executive Director at Vatsalya AgriVentures. Thank you, sir, for today's session, for being with us. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Uh, can I know, can I talk to the participants or they will, how I will interact with them? They will raise hands or they will show some signs, something like that?
Sir, in the backend, they will ask the questions which I
Okay,
share with the Ayushi ma'am, and in the
okay,
last, she will ask with you.
okay, fine,
Okay,
fine.
in last 15 minutes, she will ask the FNQ and then I give vote of thanks. So in starting,
Okay,
you have to start with your PPT and sub.
okay, okay, fine, fine. Sure, thank you. So, is it visible?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. So, thank you everyone and thank you. Welcome all the participants of this MSME Pathshala series. So today we are going to discuss the government schemes for early age startups through which they can fund, they can get the cushion for their long-term goals. So moving forward, we will understand the overview of the startup ecosystem in India, what are the key challenges that are being faced by early age startups. We will understand the opportunity from where, how we can get the funds, why government funds are better for early age startups. Then getting directly to the VCs or angel investors, we will explore different kind of funding avenues. I have analyzed more than 250 schemes and then came up with 50 to 60 schemes for each of the industry sector wise. So we will also see what are the eligibility criteria and how you can get benefited from it. And after that, we will see the application process. If time will allow, we can also fill some of the forms and try to understand how to get it done. And of course, tips to create the compelling applications are very much necessary. We'll see a few real life case studies and then we will close it with the question and answer round. So this is the startup landscape in India. Right now, more than just 2 days ago, I have seen that more than 1 lakh startup has been registered with Startup India itself. This is the data from Startup India. And with 100 plus unicorns we have in India, and the complete valuation is more than $1 billion. But at the same times, 80 to 90% startups fail. If we keep the lower figure, 80%. Out of that 80% of the startup which fails in India, 10% fails in the first year itself. 55% never see their sixth year. That means within 5 years, they have the mid time crisis and they fail. 75% of the VC backed, venture capitalist backed startups are failing in India. 82% has quoted that poor cash flow. Due to this, they were not able to survive. And 48% of that total 80 to 90% have seen the fund crunch. They didn't have the right funding agencies, funding support. That's why they were not able to make it. So what are the opportunities here? How we can overcome and get into this unicorn wala part? So there are two, three funding route we can take. The first is government grants. The second is government funding through CCD and equity. And third is angel investment or the VC or Series A, Series B, what you have heard it. But why? Why government funding is always a smarter start? What could be the benefits of the government funding? If we see this, we can see the first one is non-dilutive capital. You don't have to dilute your equity as of now when you are getting the fund. There will be always the risk reduced when you are getting funds from government. You will have access to multiple resources. Our startup Vatsalya Wellness has received fund from Startup India. We have from NRDC, National Research and Development Corporation, MSME. We were the winner in MSME Idea Hackathon. We received funds from Wikiflow. We received funds from startup agencies. So if I say around 1 CR or above than that, we have received from only government fundings in 3 years of our startup journey. If I would go on the first day of my startup journey and say any VC or angel that I need 1 crore of fund, minimum I would have to dilute 20-25% of equity that time. Right now, the 100% equity are with the founders. So there are so this is one of the basic benefit of non-dilutive capital. Example I have given the regulatory and policy support when you are working in any such kind of industry where there is something called deep science or deep tech involved or fintech involved where there are a lot of regulations by government. So you will get the support from the policymakers in terms of how in terms of like we our startup is also developing a product based on a deep science based project. It is a microbiology complete deep science. We have founders of the microbiology and biotechnology background. So when we are going to any kind of supportive agency like CSIR or Institute of Life Sciences or IISc Bangalore, they do welcome us because we have received the funding from government itself for the development of same kind of project or the same project. So market validation is one of the main point you will have when you get the funding from government. That means the apex agencies are trusting on you, and any government funding agency do not work on very shorter time horizon. They always work on the longer period of time. You don't have to pay back right now from the next month or the next year. They will give you time to develop your product, iterate your product, get into the market, get the revenues, and then you can pay back. So these are a few government schemes every startup should know. A Startup India Seed Fund scheme. I guess every startup who is DPIIT certified must have heard about this, and few of them also applied. There is again the second Startup India itself is running this credit guarantee scheme for startups. So the upper limit is very much high. We will see each and every start schemes right now. Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana. This is again a very good startup scheme, a startup funding scheme for those who are working on a very BOP, bottom of the pyramid, or credit linked scheme from MSME, BIDAC for everyone who is working in science based startups, biotech, bio-based startups. BIDAC is one of the best funding agency. DST Nidhi, CTB funds of funds. There is no higher selling again. Stand Up India. Stand Up India is for mainly for the SC/ST startup founders. This is one of the best scheme they can avail. So this is the comprehensive comparison between a few which we have discussed yet. This presentation is going to be straight to the point. There is no first talks, and we will try to understand each scheme, each the best scheme of every sector and how we can apply. all the parameters I have tried to adhere, and if I am missing something, you can ask anytime. So, Startup India Seed Fund Scheme up to 50 lakhs is the funding limit, while in Credit Guarantee Scheme, this is up to 10 crores. So, again, this is for someone who is into the growth phase. And again, these both are for the eligibility criteria for the CGSS, and Startup India Seed Fund Scheme is you have to be DPID registered startup. So if you are into a startup ecosystem and you have a startup, get it DPID certified as soon as possible. Funds of funds, 10,000 crore corpus is there. Of course, that will be disbursed by the various institutions in between called AIFs, and these all are sector agnostic. So in any sector you are working, any idea do you have, if it is innovative enough and you prove that it is innovative enough, you can have the chances to get the benefit of these schemes. Again, few of these schemes are being disbursed in tranche, like Startup India Seed Fund, 2 or 3 tranches you will get. Again, credit guarantee scheme is the loan scheme, but a very collateral free loan you will get, and up to 75-80% loan you can. And it is being managed by the SIDBI and the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Again, the purpose of each scheme is different. For Startup India Seed Fund scheme, your startup must be less than 2 years of the age from the date of incorporation. Then you are eligible to get the Startup India Seed Fund. And the purpose is completely prototype development, MVP creation, product trials, getting tested in the market validation of the product. But again, the credit guarantee scheme is for the business expansion. You have already developed a product. Now you have to produce it on a commercial level. Then you have to infuse the funds in the machineries. Then this kind of a scheme will come. Now, funds of funds. Again, it is for scaling for operations, market expansion. If you see BIDAC. So this is for the biotech and healthcare sectors. Again, this is one of the best funds. For big grant, BIG grant, BIDAC ignition grant, there is a cap of 50 lakhs, and for a few of there is 10 crores even, and there is no cap, there is no high, upper ceiling. So it depends on the on which stage you are right now, what are the project you have completed, milestones you have completed. Again, this fund is being regulated and managed by the Ministry of Science and Technology. It will be the purpose is again for the R&D, commercialization, biotech innovations, not applicable for grants. It is equity-based repayment for the investment. So if you are going for the buyback, do understand that for which purpose and what will be the repayment terms for this kind of funding. Additional support they do give. They will connect you to the biotech incubators, mentorship they will give. If someone is working in agri startup or agri tech or agriculture based startups, this is completely not for food or organic farming. This is sorry, not for food tech startups, but agriculture based startups. Organic farming will come under this only. So of course we have Raftar scheme. So most popular scheme implemented by Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. The funding amount starts goes up to 50 lakhs, and there is a upper ceiling, and for the timeline also for the 5 years they will give you. Eligibility, of course, again you will have a startup. There is no cap of having this much of revenue or that much of balance sheet figures you have to show. There is nothing like that. If you are on the idea stage, you can apply for the Raftar. You can at any stage. Again, Agri Uran by NARM, ICAR, from 10 lakhs to 1 crore, depending upon the idea, depending upon the innovation. And they are also supporting into mentoring, seed funding, capacity building. They are with seed funding agencies of different kinds of funds through Government of India also. So the duration is written is of completing the project. Again, CFSC, Venture Capital Assistance Scheme. Again, this is being implemented and managed by the government, Small Farmers Agribusiness Consortium, and from 5 lakhs to 10 crore, again, depending upon the innovation, level of innovation, and what you will be bringing through that. So support type, again, it is equity support. So the first two were not the equity support. This is the equity support. And you can apply from Atal Innovation Mission. There's up to 50 lakhs. There's various schemes being going parallel at Atal Innovation Mission. So you have to choose your niche very smartly. And they do give the innovation challenges. They have many innovation challenges keep going on always. So you can participate in any one of that and get the support. Should be should be a smile again in the MSMEs in the agri-tech. They are supporting up to 25 crores. So again, you will have a large support from these kinds of funding schemes. NABARD is also in the same. They are also giving the soft loans, credit linkage, marketing help, and a smart agri challenge by IIM Ahmedabad. They are conducting this kind of events, challenges where you can get funds from 10 lakhs to 1 crore. Again, it is for agri-tech startups. This is completely grant, market access, and mentoring. DST from Department of Science and Technology, you will get up to 5 crores. So you, for the all the agri startups who are seeing this, must make a note. And after that, I will request the coordinator madam to circulate the same the this PPT to all of you so that you can get to it anytime and choose your right scheme. So this is for the health tech startups, healthcare, both. So big biotechnology ignition grant from BIDAC up to 50 lakhs. As of now, it is grant based completely. No equity dilution will be there, and it is for early stage biotech startups for product development and R&D. Ayushman Bharat Health Innovation Challenge up to 40 lakhs. Again, it is grant based. TDB Technology Development Board from 10 lakhs to 50 lakhs. Eligibility criteria simple, tech focused solution. If you have, you can apply for the same. No equity dilution but repayable. BIDAC, no equity dilution but repayable. Up to 1 crore you can get for the startups who are working in the life sciences project and the biotech project. MSME Champions Scheme. So it is again grant based. There is one more MSME scheme is MSME Idea Hackathon. For women also, they are doing it from past 2 3 years. And for MSME Idea Hackathon is a long scheme. So last in 2023, our startup is one of the winner of the MSME Idea Hackathon for Women 3.0. So again, there is a complete grant based, no equity dilution will be there. Atal Innovation Mission, they are giving up to 10 crores depending upon the innovation and the scale. 80% for the health startups again, and all sectors health innovation, research, scaling. Nidhi Prayas, you must have heard about this. So again, there is a no equity dilution. So in the healthcare startups, these schemes are one of the best scheme. You can go and you can apply. How to apply, where to apply, we'll see that too. And TIDE, Technology Incubation and Development of Entrepreneurs. So again, TIDE gives you up to 50 lakhs of the support in terms of monetary support and post-funding support. They are also giving a lot of mentoring, networking, business collaboration, access to government health initiatives like Ayushman Bharat does, access to various incubators and innovation labs. If you need a biotech lab, full-fledged, they will provide you, they will link you to the companies like this. So e-commerce startups are getting so much hype now. So these are the few e-commerce or SaaS-based startups, software as a service startups, which can avail the funds. There's a one fund from government scheme, Startup in the E-commerce and SaaS incentive scheme, which focus on the areas of the startup who are working on the e-commerce inclination or SaaS inclination. What is the support structure they give? Tax exemptions, funding, of course, resources and government events. It varies because it is a grant based and you will have to pitch it to understand how much you can get. It is a complete early stage startups. For early age startups, these government scheme is seed funding kind of, and it is government backed, of course. And few private accelerator programs I have also mentioned here, like Techstars, Lightspeed, Sequoia Surge. These all are one of the best globally. In India, they are funding startups which are working into e-commerce and the SaaS area, like Techstars, 120,000 US dollar for equity stake. Of course, these all are the equity stake other than the Startup India e-commerce and SaaS incentive scheme. So everyone, every other is taking the equity, but you will have to again negotiate it, and you can get a benefit from all these, at least the validation. So clean tech, renewable energy, you have seen EVs are coming now. So and so many clean tech platforms are coming. So what are the schemes for these kind of startups who are working in these domains? So first is every uh, scheme I have came up in this category is backed by the government. So National Clean Energy Fund, again, up to 100 crores, 75% of the project cost is being paid by the government, 25% is being paid by the startups or the founders. Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, this is also applicable for the agri-tech, agricultural startups, and also in the clean tech renewable energy. And all the repayment terms, if you see, there's typically no repayment required for the subsidy, flexible repayment option based on the project timeline and revenue. If you are getting funds of 75 crores, let's say you have submitted a proposal of 100 crores and you get 75% of the project cost from NCEF. So you will have the 75 crores from the government backing. So what will be the repayment terms of that 75 crores? So it will be flexible completely, and this is a government-backed fund. If you see PLI for solar manufacturing, so again 4,500 crores in its incentives for the solar component manufacturing is being given the funding support. If you see EV development, so 10,000 crores. Ola is also backed by a few of these schemes. So 10,000 crores for one startup. You can see, if you have any idea, if you have any support, you need any support in this category of clean tech and renewable energy, there are a lot of government backed programs are there, like SDG India Accelerator programs. Again, it is a government backed Global Environment Facility GEF fund. This is being managed by UN and the REDA, Renewable Energy Development Agency. This is the state funding agency, but it does fund to the national level, pan India startups. So from 5 crore funding to 100 crores funding, 10,000 crores funding, you have from government backed startup funding scheme in this category of clean tech and renewable energy. If you see the food tech startups get Aspire scheme, APIDA, Mega Food Park scheme, and it depends upon the financial assistance from 5 lakhs to 25 lakhs, somewhere it goes up to in crores. The eligibility criteria is like your startup must be registered in the rural industries or Udyam certificates will be needed. If you are a registered exporter, then APIDA you can get the startup funding scheme of APIDA. Companies within Mega Food Park zone, if your company is in the falls in that zone, of course you will get the support of that scheme. What are the sector focus? Food, agriculture, processed food, food processing. So these schemes are highly suggested and advisable for every startup who is looking for the support in their food tech industry, or who are working or who have the idea for this kind of industry. So this is for fintech. If anyone has any question, okay. So I think okay, fine, understood. Yes, so this is a fintech startup. Fintech startup is getting a boom. Everyone is getting into some kind of fintech, micro fintech. Uh, so these are the NPCI Innovation Fund, Digital India Program, RBI's Regulatory Sandbox, India Stack. NABARD is also giving fintech who are developing fintech models for the rural India, or TDF. So if we see, this is very little complicated than the other schemes. Like they are not giving directly the funding amount and how much they will give. There is no higher ceiling or the lower ceiling in this. So if we see NPCI Innovation Fund, the objective is clearly to promote the innovation in payments, financial solutions. Co-investment in innovative financial technologies will be the key benefit you will get here. All fintech startups with innovative payment systems are eligible for the NPCI Innovation Fund. And the funding amount is again depends upon the innovation level, what you are bringing on the table. Application process, of course, you will have to submit the proposals and all the business models you are working on. Funding type, co-investment. Co-investment, they will get it through the other financial technologies company, and support for scaling innovation they will give you. So this is a funding type of support they will give you. While Digital India program is giving you grant, mentorship, and infrastructure support, any startup offering a digital solution can apply for Digital India program. But sorry, for the NPCI fund, it is highly competitive. So if you are going to these kind of funds, you will have to understand, and you will not have to underestimate the competition you are going to take. Again, Digital India program is again sector focused for digital services, fintech, and applications are going through the MIT. So if you are in a digital solution startup, including fintech, are the eligible uh, beneficiaries for the Digital India program. If you see the RBI's regulatory sandbox, so RBI is one of the apex body for financial systems we have in India. Here, all the fintech startups offering innovative banking, payment, or lending products like mutual fund or loans, short-term loans, or these kind of financial products they are selling through their app or fintech based project. So they can go to the RBI regulatory sandbox, and they will get the relief for piloting the products, testing their products, testing their fintech platform, testing their project, testing their technology. And of course, again, it is a sector focused, must be from payments, banking, lending, digital finance. Regulatory approval is time consuming. So if you are building or developing your startup in fintech uh, segment, you must go for the Digital India program first. Easy to get it because they will also give you the grant, and the NPCI Innovation Fund. If you see the India stack, any fintech startup who are working on Aadhaar, UPI, eKYC can get benefited through India stack. They give the APIs. Basically, they have the largest database of this. No direct funding is there, but they will support you from the infrastructure they have, registration, and of course, so you will have to be sector focused again in digital finance, payments, and the financial inclusion. So what NABARD has to offer, NABARD is focused on fostering the rural financial inclusion and the digital services in the rural India. So here you will get the grants on financial inclusion projects which are especially developed for the rural India. And again, you will have grant on financial inclusion. You will have to submit the proposals to the NABARD when you are writing this. Every time I say proposal, make sure I will give you the two tips how to write the best proposal. And because I have I wrote it for few startups and for mine also. So typically, these NABARD is also focusing on the specific in financial inclusion projects, and they completely focus on the rural areas. Those who are working, those who are working in any fintech solution where the customers are or the customers will be tier two, tier one cities customers, they must not focus on NABARD Financial Inclusion Fund. So TDF. TDF basically give the grants for the development, research and commercialization of your tech solution. And again, it is also highly competitive, require detailed proposal for the tech development. And up to 3 years, they do support and they give the monetary support in forms of the grant. So these are few, I think, 40, I have curated the best scheme for any kind of for edutech. Again, the fintech, not fintech will work, but the e-commerce will work for the edutech startups. And if you are from different industry or different sectors, I can give you Excel sheet where each of the startups scheme by any state government or central government are mentioned with all the parameters. You can choose your own, which is your race and where you can get the funds. Do apply for the same. How to leverage the scheme. So these are the schemes I have just discussed. So you must be registered under Startup India or any relevant state programs like we are registered in Startup India. Our startup, not we are, our startup is registered in Startup India, Startup Orissa, Startup Bihar. So you you can research on what state level startup funding agencies have to offer. Might you can resonate with their startup funding schemes more. So do not get stuck on a Startup India seed fund or credit guarantee scheme or any of the scheme I shown to you. If you feel any state level startup agency like a startup Bihar, start in UP, start in Tamil Nadu, can seed any scheme they have and they are giving more benefit, you must apply and get that. Incorporation within 7 years from the time you are applying for the fund, 10 years for the biotechnology and social startups. Your annual turnover must be less than 100 crores and you must have an innovation focused solution and a scalable business model for the employment potential. So these are the basic eligibility criteria for any kind of startup funding scheme. Other than this, there may be a list of criterias where you have to see that are you taking every criteria or not. If you are not taking every criteria, there will be chances that you will not get shortlisted for the rounds or for the money disbursal. So of course, the essential documents they will ask you for your uh, certificates, business plans, of course, Aadhaar link bank account details, relevant licenses if you are applying for food, let's say food technology or food processing startup you have, then you must have the FSSAI license in the place and all the other license you need. So there are few schemes which need financial records of the last 2 3 years, if applicable. That's why I have written. But a lot of schemes are there where there is no requirement of the financial records, because few are always for the very early startup for the seed funding. They are providing the seed funding for, then this will be not applicable. So these are the few tips of the writing compelling proposals. Like if you will go and see the DPIIT page, I will show you. They ask what is the innovation you are bringing. So when you are writing the innovation, I will suggest do not take ChatGPT or Gemini help there. Write on your own. Try to make it very short, crisp, concise, and to the point. Do not write the whole essay. If you are working in a biotech sector, do not mention each and every part, how you are doing it. Just write what innovation you are bringing, how it will help to the mass, and how much scalable the innovation will be, and how it will generate the employment. Identify the gap in the market that your startup addresses. State your objective very clearly, very carefully. Highlight the innovation. Provide realistic financial projection. You are here with between the CA, where every first person is a chartered accountant, not second even. So you can take guidance from any chartered accountant here, or they will help you to find how to calculate the financial projection. Of course, it is a completely mathematical game. Do not so that you will be having a revenue of 100 crores or 1,000 crores in next 2 years or 3 years or 5 years. No, this is not going to be possible. So provide the realistic financial projection. So the impact matrices you will use, tailor your proposal for each of the scheme you are applying for. Not not the generic proposal will go and work in the every scheme. So use data, case studies, of course. Explain the fund utilization. This is very much crucial part where most of the startups fail. Uh, what what I have experienced till, what kind of fund utilization they are providing, first thing, and how you are going to utilize the fund if you will get it, must be in the line. If they are going to give you product development fund and you are saying that I will use this fund for the commercialization purpose or the marketing purpose or the brand development purpose, so this is not going to work. Straight product development fund will go to the product development project. So traction, if you have any kind of market validation, customer testimonials, revenue milestones, what you have done in the past, what R&D you have done on your own, which shows that the traction will be there in the future. So you will have to show all of this. Of course, leverage partnership. If you are incubated somewhere, take the guidance from the incubator people. If you are working with some other companies, startups in your own domain, mention the collaboration. If you are working or if your product prototype is being tested by any kind of laboratories or any kind of your collaborators or any kind of the institutions backed by the government, especially, do mention that. Try to present a strong team, create a team which will be able to get the goal of the project. Focus on sustainability. Again, this is going to be very much important. You are not going to create a plastic, right? And if you will go to and if you have this kind of project where sustainability is not in the main image, then there will be a bit problem. So always focus on the long-term growth plans and make sure the funding strategy beyond this project, beyond this funding, uh, the benefit, create a visual impact, of course. Answer the why now question. Explain the urgency and the timeliness of your situation. Proofread thoroughly. Do it at least 5 times before submitting any kind of proposal. Do it on your own, do it from your co-founders, let your incubators do it once, include exit strategies if required. 95% of the government scheme do not require this as of now, but if they require in like might be in EVs sector or in that industry, so we will have to figure out the exit strategy also. Avoid exaggeration. There is no need to write 1.5 times, 10 times. Be authentic, be honest. And of course, a strong executive summary is very much needed because the first page will uh, keep the readers interest to read in the complete project. So these are the few common mistakes which we as a startup founder do make and which must be avoided while we are submitting any kind of the submission to the government funding scheme. So not understanding eligibility criteria. If I I am more than 2 years or my startup age is more than 2 years, no way I am eligible for any, sorry, not any, but Startup India Seed Fund scheme. No way I am eligible for the same. So I must not kill my time to create proposal for the Startup India Seed Fund scheme. Incomplete or incorrect documentation. If you are filling any kind of form, any kind of submission at government funding agency, make sure the correct and the complete documentation has been uploaded or the provided. Lack of clear business plan. Do work on it before project submission. Work on how to make your business plan very clear. Overlooking the application deadlines. Submit your application before the deadline. Try to do it. Underestimating the proposal writing process. Do not never underestimate the proposal writing process. It is one of the biggest thing you will have to focus on. Ignoring the need of financial forecast. Do learn the financial modeling if needed. If not, consult your chartered accountant or CA or your financial mentor, and he will do it for you. Not maintaining follow-ups. Failing to showcase scalability. If you have a very good idea, very new idea, innovative idea, and it is not scalable, it is not fundable as of now. Simple. So do not fail to show. Sorry. Always try to showcase the scalability of your idea of your innovation. Ignoring legal and regulatory compliances. There are so many regulatory compliances in different industries, different sectors. So you will have to work within the limits and not going beyond the compliances which are the legal and the regulatory. And underestimating the competition. We did it for a few times and we badly failed there. So always, if you are going for any kind of competition, understand there are so many startups must be working on and various new innovative ideas is going to come on the table. So do it very purposefully. So this is a very short presentation I had. If any questions from anyone, do let me know and we'll discuss. If you will see, I was looking, there are so many competitions are going on always in the Startup India programs. So if you fall in any kind of industry like energy startup challenge, apply by startup challenge digital to end by. This is from the Crompton Graves. So if you will see, you can find all of the eligibility criteria, timeline of the applications. I'm just showing you as an example. Detailed eligibility criteria, any Indian startups, entrepreneurs, and academia. The challenge is valid for internationals only. Market ready product. The product should be market ready. Deployed solution which requires further scaling up. The solution must be there, which needs to be growth in the terms of scaling. The product or technology should be tangible with the expected technology and innovation. The patented technology will be preferred. So if you have any kind of innovation which you think that can be patented, you get it patented as soon as possible. They are also mentioning which industry are relevant to apply or encouraged to apply in this challenge. Analytics, AR, VR, automotive, construction, computer vision, AI, chemicals. Themes for challenges. These are the problem statement they have already given. Which problem statement you resonate the most? What are the incentives? The total amount allocated for the prototype development cost is 16 lakhs, with each selected startup eligible for a reimbursement of 4 lakhs for the tailored prototype. So again, we will have the Thompson Gibbs is the host of this. What is being shared? Uh, is my screen shared right now?
Yes, sir, it's visible, sir.
The Startup India website is visible
Yes.
now?
It's scheme for startup care, health care startup.
No, no, no. Oh, sorry, sorry, sorry. Is it visible now?
Yeah, sir, now it's visible.
Okay. So there again, I'm repeating this. So there are a lot of challenges or the contests which are always going on the Startup India website. You can go and see. This is one of the example I am showing. This is Crompton Innovation Challenge 2024. The application timeline is here. You must see it if it is okay for you. The detailed eligibility criteria is here. What are the in Indian startup employees of the company? The challenge is valid for internationals, technology. Any of the following stages will be qualified. Technology or innovation or POC is ready. Market ready product. Deployed solution which requires further scaling up. The product or technology should be tangible with the expected technology or the innovation, and the patented technology will be preferred. So I requested if you find your innovation or your idea can be patented and it has that much innovation, get it patented as soon as possible. If you see the relevant industry they have mentioned, analytics, computer vision, construction, automotives, AI, aeronautics, aerospace and defense. They have mentioned the problem statement here in pumps, in large kitchen appliances, in fans. What are you can resonate with each of the problem statement, try to understand the problem statement, come up with a solution if you are working, if your startup is in this sector and if you have the solution for this problem statement. Very concisely, the problem statement has been written. These are the incentives. What incentives they are giving? The total amount allocated for prototype development is 16 lakhs, with each selected startup eligible for the reimbursement up to 4 lakhs for the tailored prototypes. Non-fiscal incentives, opportunity to co-develop solution with the Crompton during the prototype development. So you will have the access to the Crompton resources. and this is being hosted by the Crompton Graves. So these days now companies are coming with the problems they have. If you see energy startup challenge, if you are working in energy, renewable energy or EV sector like that, advancing innovative solution along the energy value chain. So deadline is 16th December. Sorry, deadline is 12th to 2nd December 2024. So this is still going on. So any of you is have has startup in energy sector, do I do recommend to I do advise to apply in this challenge. Stage of the startup ideation or early stage, where early stage include bootstraps, pre-seed, Series A, Series B, Series C. Startups to have maximum of 10 years from the date of incorporation or turnover less than 100 crores. So again, you will have to be DPIIT certified to get applied here, to apply here. They have very clearly written which relevant industry: agriculture, AI, chemical, green technology, finance technology, analytics. Themes for for the challenges across oil and gas value chain, low carbon fuels. Problem statement is very clearly written. You can top three winners of the winner will receive cash prize of 3 lakhs, 2 lakhs, and 1 lakhs respectively. So monetary funding might be less, but again you will have a market validation for this. Who is hosting this? Federation of Indian Petroleum Industry. So there are a lot of contests are going on always. You may find the best for you and you do apply and get it. National Biotech and Health Conclave. So these are few of the, or even you can go to ICAI website and you can see ICAI is also one of the Startup India seed funding agency, I guess. They do have the incubation support also. So if you are building something in fintech or financial system based startups, you do connect with the ICAI startup team or the MSME team. They will help you for sure. So I'm open for the questions we can have. If you are
Still we not have any question. You can just continue. After 15 minutes, we will discuss the questions.
okay, okay. So if you are from getting looking for the finance female founders, Startup India again have one of the best schemes for the female founders. And if you see, there is one more WEP Unnati. You can also apply here. This is only for the women entrepreneurs. I'm also one of the mentor here. So I do mentor 3 4 startups which I have received. So they have various training schemes: women enterprise development, Startup India seed funding. They have National Initiative for Development Nidhi grant. They have. So you can find the mentors. You can find the community here. If women founders are looking are here, so they can apply. And the award to reward program they have started with the microsave consulting and SIDB. So again, those who are working in the green sector can avail this. So government, so in a nutshell, I can say government has a lot of schemes for each level of the startups. Either you are looking for 5 lakh rupees, you can go to the Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, or you are a startup in the scalable and growth phase and looking for Series B, Series C kind of funding. They do have even 10,000 crore upper ceiling schemes or the funds of funds. There is no upper ceiling at all. Or if you see Startup Odisha funding schemes. Even state agencies like a Startup Odisha has funds of funds, and where there is no upper ceiling, they do have monthly allowance support of I think 15 or 20,000. 20,000 startups will be given a monthly sustainable allowance, sustenance allowance of 20,000 by the state government, or need-based assistance. If you see, there is no, again, there is no higher limit. PDMA grant, this is for 15 lakhs, and if you are a woman, uh, if you have a women co-founder, or you are a woman, so then it is for 16 lakhs. So here it is. Patent reimbursement they are giving. Government procurement. So again, the market linkage. So state funded agencies like a Startup Odisha or a Startup Delhi or a Startup Bihar have so much of funds of funds, and funds for every scheme for every level of a startup, either you are at the ideation phase or you are on the growth phase. And of course, the central agency like a Startup India has everything. Or you can see you are working in something like deep technology, then you have NRDC support, which we have also availed in 2022. So they are giving the seed funding of 30 lakhs straight in one tranche. So, and this is, there is no timeline for this. You can apply anytime. So again, you can avail this, but when you are applying, you will have to submit a lot of documents. And when you have to submit the document, do not forget to work on these tips. So I guess, sir, we are about to finish this, because the schemes I have discussed, and those who are interested can get the PDF or the Excel sheet of each of the agri or sector wise or the industry wise, and they can apply for the best suitable scheme for them. And if needed, I can be helpful. If I can be helpful in writing the proposals, of course, I will help them. So this is from my side to all the startups who are looking or who are attending this webinar as of now.
Oh, yeah. इसके side से नहीं. Okay, sir. Let me ask our coordinator to please ask some questions with you.
Sir,
Just give me a minute.
sir.
Hello, sir.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi. Yes, the participants have a few questions for you. The
Sure,
first
ma'am.
question goes is, how can a hospital be treated as a startup?
What are the innovations you are bringing from the traditional hospital or any hospital, and what are the innovative differences? The first and foremost definition of a startup has the word innovation in it. So, what innovation that new hospital is bringing in terms of, and innovation can be in any terms, in terms of processing from the time any patient comes to the discharge. What are the process they are maintaining, how they are maintaining it, how much technology is involved, is the hospital completely staffless? So there are so many things where we can see the innovation, where the innovation comes. One of our startup is manufacturing sanitary pads. But how we are differentiated, or how we got the funds from Startup India or the Startup Orissa or the MSME or the NRDC or the Wikiflow, that we are adding a chip inside. This is our innovation. That is the deep science based innovation. And what that chip does, it releases negative ions from the gemstones using the piezoelectricity. So this is a complete science. We have changed the science here. So we can say the hospital can be innovative, of course. Why not? And it can be treated as a startup.
Okay. Next question is CGT MSc, how to take loan for startup?
Okay. So if we see, wait, let me show you. Startup India. Is it visible, madam?
Just a second, sir. Yeah, it's visible, sir.
Yes. So basically, this is for those startups who have already marked a milestone in terms of revenue. This is not for the seed funding. This is not for the ideation level of startups. This scheme is only be availed through, this is a loan, credit guarantee to loans extended to DPIIT recognized startups by scheduled commercial bank, NBFCs and VDFs. So this is not being routed through any kind of incubator. This is being routed through the banks or the NBFCs. So they will again check your the previous balance sheets of the 2 3 years at least, and then for the borrower, say, a startup whose eligibility is certified by the member institution for the purpose of the guarantee cover. Startups have reached the stage of a stable revenue stream as assessed from audited monthly statements over 12-month period. And the audit agency will be at least the big four. So if they fall in this criteria, they will get up to 10 crores. I have also covered all these in my Excel sheet. I will send you, so you can forward it to the.
Okay, should I go for the next question, sir?
Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
Okay, recently SEBI has released a consultation paper on changes in SME IPO. Please
Hmm.
throw some light on this issue.
See, in terms of SME IPO, it is not a new term. First thing first, SME IPO might get that much light in recent years when the startup ecosystem is getting broader. SME IPOs was also much relatable in the previous times. But what SEBI has did, in few terms only, it will going to hamper, but in the broader terms, it will be okay for any SME who is going for IPO. But I will always suggest any kind of SME who is going for IPO. I have 2 3 uh, startup founders which I have mentored previously. They are filing for it through SPA, something like chartered accountants, their agency. So they have also suggested the same. They have also advised the same. Going before going in the IPO, there are lot of things to do in terms of in the back end development. You cannot go and just file because you can. So SEBI has relaxed very a lot of things and also hardened a few of the criterias, which is very much I appreciate actually that what is being hardened is needed to be. Hello, ma'am.
Yeah. Should I go for the next question?
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah. What is the grant for agriculture startup?
Grants for agricultural startups. There are lots of grants for agricultural startups, madam. Uh, Lots of grant for agricultural startups.
Okay. Who is eligible for agriculture infrastructure fund?
Any startups who is see, these are the top startup funding schemes for the agri-tech, agriculture, floriculture, horticulture, or the agriculture allied startups are there. These are the schemes for them. Uh, Raftar is one of the best scheme. 50 lakhs funding amount is. Agri Uran from ICAR, 10 lakhs to 1 crore is the funding amount. Venture capital assistance scheme, 5 lakhs to 2 crore, again depending on the innovation scale, scalability, and their parameters. And Atal Innovation Mission, they are offering the funding amount of 50 lakhs. SIDB up to 25 crores for those MSME who are in the agri-tech. Even NABARD up to 10 crores, they are give funding. So these are the funding amounts they are giving to each startup.
Okay. So should I go for next question, sir?
Sure, ma'am.
Okay. Where will we get subsidy for startup for fish farming, poverty farming, or cow farming, etc.?
Yes. For livelihood, for livestock farming, uh, NDRI, National NDRI Karnal is one of the best institution to seek the fund. Second, EPICOL, EPICOL, that is one of the best institute to pursue. In fisheries, there is only one national level institute who is running all the funds for the startups who are specifically focused on the livestock management of the fisheries or some in or allied. So these are the few institutions in India which can be pursued for the sector wise or even in sector wise. What is the niche wise uh, startups?
Okay. How do we start a solar energy plant and from where we need approval? And is there any government subsidy?
Yes, there are a lot of. If you are into yes, so there is a performance link. The third one, if you see after national energy. Wait, the first one is National Clean Energy Fund, Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, and then performance linked incentive for solar manufacturing. Up to 4,500 crore corpus incentive for solar component manufacturing is being distributed among the startups, and there is no payment required. You must have the manufacturing facility development innovation support This is completely performance based in incentives. You can get, there is a no, again, there is no higher ceiling if the proposal and the startup founders or the startup has done good in this, what you are asking, in solar manufacturing, solar machinery manufacturing, of course they can get it. And this is completely grant.
Okay.
No, yes.
Please provide another source of government grant for ideation stage startup except SISFS.
Hmm. If you are not from, in which sector you are looking for?
It has not been specified, sir.
Okay, fine. So if you are not going for Startup India Seed Fund scheme, then you must focus on in which state you are located. Try to find the state startup funding agency. It must be a startup and your state name, a startup like a startup Odisha or a startup Bihar or a start in UP. And they have two types of funds always. The one is monthly allowance grant and one is the seed funding. The seed funding is ranges from 15 lakhs to 220 lakhs in any kind in any state. Even a startup Gujarat, they have 25 lakhs of startups seed funding. So if you are not going for a startup India seed funding, you must visit your state startup funding agency website, and you will find it. At least two or three minimum. I would say if you see, there are a lot of this is a state uh, if you go to any state managed funding agency, you can have startup incentives funding. See, within 2 weeks, they have maximum 4 weeks of the timeline. 2 weeks here, 2 weeks here, and they will give you the result whether you are eligible or not or not. So every startup state managed startup funding agency have two kind of a startup funds for seed funding, basic fund, ideation fund. The startup sustenance allowance, it ranges from 15 to 25,000 per month for 1 year, or some or in few states 18 months, or the seed funding up to 15 to 25 lakhs, uh, again ranging from the state to state. You can apply at any. I will suggest the best is finding the startup funding agency in your state if you are not going for the Startup India Seed Fund scheme.
What are the three pillars of Startup India?
Three pillars of a Startup India.
Yes, sir.
समझा नहीं? I didn't understand the question.
So it's just written, what are the three pillars of Startup India?
There can be, see, in which perspective you want to say it. If I say funding is can be the one pillar, mentorship can be the second pillar, or Providing the resource can be the third pillar. Again, this can be the third three pillars, or three more pillars I can count, three more pillars I can count. So if the question will be exactly in the line of what is being asked, so I can answer it more properly, more practically, that what actually the person is talking about. Or you can say innovation is one of the pillar. Of course, supporting innovation is one of the pillar.
What are the three P's of startup?
Piece of a startup or the products? Are you talking about the four P's of the marketing? Three P's of the startup?
The three P's of the startup.
It can be product, of course. The first piece can be the product. The second, process. And the third, people might be the three P's of a startups. So the product which you will get revenue, process through which you will get revenue, and the people who will help you in getting the revenue. The three P's of any startup.
Okay. Another question goes is, can women CA in practice for her profession can avail loan from government scheme? If yes,
Can
then how?
women can women
Can can women CA in practice for her profession can avail loan from government scheme?
yes, if any woman
How?
who is who from applying from any of the schemes, if any woman is running a startup, of course she is a startup founder, she can apply to any of the scheme, she can relate the most, and she can resonate the most in which sector she is working, in which startup she is working, and depending upon the scheme, if she applies, of course, through incubators like a Startup India Seed Fund scheme comes through an incubator. So you will have to choose three incubator when you will be applying the form. So if you choose the incubators wisely, if you are incubated somewhere, then choosing one of your own incubator is always beneficial for you. So if you are filling the form appropriately, smartly, and wisely, of course, you will be eligible for the funds. There are every second, third startup is getting funded right now. So there is no problem at all that my startup is not getting funded from government. You are making some kind of mistake repeatedly. That's why. Might be unconsciously you are doing it. You are not getting the mistakes you are doing making while filling the form or while choosing the right stakeholders. But somehow it can be corrected again, and you can get it. You can get the benefit of the schemes.
Best government scheme for advertising startup?
Advertising startups comes, see again, advertising startup, if you saying that my startup is into advertisement, so again, how my startup is making revenue, what innovation I am bringing in the advertising industry. If I am bringing some kind of advertisement like AR/VR, then again my industry will be shifted to deep tech, sorry, tech based industry. So it will be not the advertising industry. Advertising industry, it may be from the source of revenue it is getting. But when I will be pitching, I will not be pitching it as a advertisement agency. If I am a person and I open an advertisement agency, how my advertisement agency is different from the others? Someone is making the ad of Cadbury, advertisement of Cadbury's, कुछ मीठा हो जाए. And if someone comes and says, I have also an advertisement agency and I need a government funding support, how you are different. And if you are different from some other perspective, then your startup pitch will not be considered as a advertisement agency. Your startup pitching will be considered as tech startup or SaaS startup, what actually you are doing. Else, some pan vendor, pan dukan wala can have the differentiation in the innovation or can be innovative. Is it a startup? So these questions will come when you ask advertisement agency can get funds from government. Yes and no both. Yes, if you are able to differentiate your advertisement agency in terms on the terms of the innovation. If you are a traditional advertisement agency which runs on high money, big pocket, then it will be difficult.
Which scheme is appropriate for in-house saffron production? What is the
In-house,
process? Saffron production.
okay, then it comes in the agriculture.
Oh, process to avail the scheme.
Okay. If you are producing the saffron or mushroom, will come into agri startup. So if we see, we are DST fund is okay, good for you, and RKVY Raftar is good for you. RKVY Raftar has the biggest beneficiaries till date, or Agri Uran. So these two, the first two, have the largest base of the recipient. So if you will apply to these agri-tech or agribusiness, uh, for RKVY Raftar, you will have to go on the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare website, and you have to apply simple. But when applying, the list of what you will upload or what you will fill is long. So again, you will have to understand each one of them, and you can save it. If you are not ready to fill all in one go, you can save it. Come back, do it later. So these are few schemes for the agri startups which they can avail, and it will be applicable in end-to-end agricultural startups, whatever they are producing.
How this requirement is to be addressed when they don't have any property to offer as security?
They do not need any collateral. None of these none of these schemes are asking for the collateral. Even credit guarantee scheme for startups, there is no loan collateral. See, the fourth from the last, from the down, fourth, loan collateral not required, not applicable at all. Agri startups not required, not applicable at all.
Okay. Whether any of the agencies ask for personal property as security, a guarantee of promoters.
Then that agency is giving you fund in other scheme. Point number one. That if you are going to take personal bank loan, there will be different way of getting the process done. If you are going for business loan, there will be again different process of getting it done. So if you are going for these kind of the implementing agencies, exactly, if you are going to ICAR NARM for Agri Uran, they will not ask you any kind of collateral support. They will not ask you any kind of, they will ask only for the innovation. They will ask only for, is your startup registered? They will ask only for, are you making money? If no, no problem. If yes, very good. And
Okay.
even they are giving it to the farmers, not only the startups. They are giving it to the individuals. If any individual come up with a innovative solution for something, venture capital assistant scheme is giving that.
Okay. Can a multi-speciality hospital be started as a startup? What are the funding schemes available for this in Tamil Nadu?
Tamil Nadu has one of the vibrant startup ecosystem, and the name is TANSEED, TANSEED. So if you will search it, so the person who has asked, I am just requesting him or her to ask to search TANSEED and try to understand the eligibility criteria of each of the startups in each of the industry. Your health industry, if you are considering your startup in the health industry, what kind of innovation you are bringing, make sure they will ask you. So be ready with a concise answer. Make the answer vague. This is very much understandable.
Okay. I'm in the business of steel rolling. Best schemes for this business and application process.
Yes, companies like yeah, Tata Steel, companies like Tata Steel, JSW have that kind of support, uh, which 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 is being supported again by the government of India. So you can pursue these companies who are actually supporting the MSMEs who are working in the same space.
No
Yes, ma'am.
other question.
Okay,
No other questions, sir. Thank you
no
for your
problem.
knowledgeable session.
No problem, no problem.
Everyone has.
If any of the startups find any kind of difficulty, you may tell them to connect to me over LinkedIn, over the call, over the text, anytime, and I will be more than happy to help.
Okay. Thanks a lot, sir, for your knowledgeable session.
Thank
Hope
you
we
so
don't
much.
have any further questions.
No
Thanks a lot.
problem. No problem.
Thank you, sir, so much.
Thank you.
And thank you, Ayushi ma'am, for coordination.
Should I leave
Thank you,
now?
tech support.
Thank you.